Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we are starting our second playthrough of Full Throttle Remastered. This time we're going to have the commentary on, and we're going to have all of the settings turned to the original graphics, classic art, turning off the remastered controls, classic music, classic sound effects, and classic speech. Subtitles still going to be on. Remastered gameplay, I guess, is going to be off. Quality will leave it normal. Audio and normal as we continue to listen to this very oddly Western designed song for this new menu. As for the remaster and getting all the achievements, I've done that, so there's really no reason to have to worry about any of that. As far as the jukeboxes, let's see, I guess we could just prove that we've unlocked all of that through one playthrough. You really don't need to play it a second time, unless there was some weird concept art that didn't unlock in the gameplay. The way this concept art unlocked was very odd, because it would jump and skip numbers, and I don't believe that's the case. So one good run, if you follow the achievement guide, and achievement guide, you will get everything you can kind of get out of it through just the remastered. And it's only going to be because of nostalgia, and because I actually do want to hear what they may actually have to say on the director's commentary that I'm playing it a second time. It's been about a week since I last played this game, so it's very possible I'll get stuck and not remember the solutions, but there's a pretty high solution that this is gonna be a speed run.
Hello everybody, I am Tim Schafer. I was the project leader on Full Throttle, and welcome to this exciting commentary.
I'm Larry Ahern, and I was lead animator.
Interesting.
I was production manager.
They recorded the developer commentary in a surround sound setup, or at least stereo.
And I'm Clint Bajakian, and lead sound.
It feels like they're sitting around my head.
Would you like a drink? Because we have
Wouldn't that be funny? No, not right now. I think we come up with a lot more stories.
Yeah, we'll do that for our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Drunk game commentary. All right, you guys.
Trouble.
In a weird way, the old graphics kind of fit the story a bit better.
It has the fabulous voice of Roy Conrad, the late great Roy Conrad. And now we're getting into our celebrity voiceover. Anyone know who the celebrity is?
Yes,
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill as Ripper, super evil.
he does a great job.
He's amazing.
Sure does.
We knew a little bit that he would do a great job, not just from the Star Wars stuff, but he was already the
Mark
Joker.
Hamill, he had
the Joker in the animated TV series.
played Luke in Star Wars.
Malcolm Corley was.
And of course, this is a LucasArts game, so it'd be easy for them to get a George Lucas actor.
Oh yeah, you gotta go back to that. It's little gold Tim.
Little gold Tim butt. Oh yeah.
Oh, there'll be a glory shot of that later.
That was a Charlie Ramos.
I remember Peter McConnell making fun of me for the destabilizing inner ear condition line. Now this is. Are we using the Rebel Assault engine yet? Oh wait, my nude scene's coming up. Everybody, cover your eyes. Nobody look.
There it is. Oh, that's right.
The only
Decent
difference.
exposure.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody, for that. And some great Gone Jackals music comes in here. This is still an introduction that I love to watch because it was so. It was really different than Day of the Tentacle, which was our last game, where we had a lot of trouble just getting the founding fathers to animate as they jumped out the window when you.
Day of the Tentacle was very cartoony. This is kind of the exact opposite. Or to say, Day of the Tentacle is very Looney Toony in its intro.
How did wait, now what? Hey, you tell us what was going on here.
The Insane Engine. It was the Insane Engine. Slush was the tool that you created. Right.
Okay.
Streams
This came about because the advent of CD-ROMs, which had basically infinite storage compared to what we're used to on the 3.5-inch. Oh, look at these amazing credits. Here comes Steve's. Yeah, nice. Of course.
Try getting these today in Call of Duty or what have you.
What, opening credits?
Yeah.
I love opening credits. I guess I feel like they just set the mood.
That's a good point. Modern games wouldn't let you take the control away from the player for this long.
Make you feel like you're gonna see something awesome and epic.
Absolutely.
You get to hear all this awesome music.
Live band.
So CD-ROMs came out, and Myst was a big hit, and then Lucas made Rebel Assault, which was like took 3D rendered trenches, and you could fight TIE fighters in these trenches, right?
Right.
And then we're like, we'll take that.
Yeah, Vince came up with the streaming engine did really well, and he kept doing improvements on it for Rebel Assault 1, Rebel Assault 2, etc., etc. And this got put into here, and
Yeah, it was mind-boggling at the time because he's like, look, I'm gonna do this thing. It's gonna store the data for one frame, and then the next frame, it's not gonna have the whole frame. It's only gonna have the data that changed. And we're like, what? That's a compression idea that has never been. That's crazy. So it allowed us to like do full screen animation.
Now, one thing that I want to point out is they've done a very good job on the developer commentary by having what seems to be at least 6 or 7 people in the room. I've seen a lot of movie developer commentaries, director commentaries, where it's 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 people, and they just don't have anything to say for half the movie.
Relax. I have a feeling something's coming our way. Something big.
The CG with the 2D animation is an odd mix that might not even feel old-fashioned. It might just feel like an odd artistic style.
What could possibly be taking so long?
Maybe old man Corley got himself in trouble.
Yeah, maybe they took the old guy out back and worked him over with a 2x4.
An appealing notion, but improbable.
And I'm sorry about telling this story, but we were talking about making a movie of this with MTV. Do you remember that? MTV wanted to put this on liquid television.
You know, frankly, it would have worked better as a movie.
And I was in MTV in New York, and I was talking to a guy about it, and he was saying that he was playing this intro to the game, and that Mike Judge had walked by. Mike Judge was doing Beavis and Butthead at the time, and he walked by and he stopped and he walked back in. He listened. He's like, "Did that guy just say whenever I smell asshole, I think of Marina?" and that's what I think of whenever I hear that line. And I had to tell that story. We probably can't use that story in the commentary, though. But now you know.
Sure you can.
Service to you.
You would be well compensated for your time, of course.
Not interested.
Still an intro.
Obvious that you could use the money.
Really long intro in this game.
Cats are not goons for hire.
Not even if it were Malcolm Corley's dying wish.
Rip Burger? That does it. I'm gonna... Hold on there, Malcolm. If you don't mind, I'd like to step outside with Mr. Ripburger for a little chat.
Excellent idea.
Now, the assumption here is that
And the doctor says
he was going to beat up
That's bad.
what's his name.
He's not just a nice guy. He's also the last motorcycle maker in the country.
I guess he wasn't.
Happens to Corley Motors if he dies.
Don't worry. I have a plan. And if you come to the shareholders meeting with us, you'll find out what it is.
No dice, Ripburger. The Polecats are not thugs for rent. If you want to buy muscle, you should go find the Rottweilers.
The old man says it's the
Nice reference to the Rottweilers that we deal with later.
And that's your last word.
That's it.
Well, I'd like to make you just one final offer. Bolus, take this coat and go get his motorcycle. We'll have to tie up this little 200-pound loose end. It will need to look like an accident. That stuffed shirt actually thinks I'll leave him in control of Corley Motors when I go. Boy, is he in for a surprise.
If this was on MTV at the time, I feel like it would have been at a higher resolution.
As a matter
Like,
of fact, he's gone on ahead to scout out the route.
which makes me wonder
Let's roll him,
if
boys.
there aren't at least some of these scenes that were originally done at 525 lines of resolution that you normally would have in on TV at the time, standard definition TV. I doubt they would have been anything higher than that, like a 720p. Interesting. I guess because I'm not using the controller, only the keyboard is going to let me hit enter to look at the controller settings. Interesting. I was pretty much expecting to just play this game with the mouse.
The back of the bar where the dumpster is, I just remember telling Peter Chan to get rid of the ladder. Like, he had a ladder there that went up onto the roof, and that was part of the learning. Like, you can't put interesting things in adventure games because, like, the player's going to want to go up that ladder and climb up there, and so he had to paint it out. He was so mad about that. But, and I think of this room where we started talking about how did we do a game that stylized, do you remember this, Larry? Like, stylized, like, but not a cartoon for kids. Because we didn't want to go quote-unquote realistic, but we wanted to do something that was more adult. And remember, you guys talked a lot about Mike Mignola and Hellboy, and how things disappeared into the blackness a lot. And so you can see in that in the bar, there's a lot up in the TV and the pipes and stuff. It just kind of disappears into nothingness.
So, if we're triggering all the developer commentary with the A button, which means I need to move my keyboard a little bit closer to me to reach the A button. There we go. That should be good enough. I'm mostly just going to try and speed run this and do the things I know I'm supposed to do. And I imagine every scene I go into, I'm going to potentially, if not always, get a developer commentary.
So here, there's a puzzle where you kick open the door after this cutscene, right? You kick open the door.
Kick open the door was just like a kind of a character setting thing for us. Where like we always talked about how, you know, Bernard Bernoulli and Dave the Tentacle, if he had to like get through a locked door and all he had was a bologna sandwich, that he would figure out a way of like putting the mayonnaise on the floor and sliding the bread under and then taking the toothpick and poking the key through the hole and dropping it in the point, and that Ben Throttle would just eat the sandwich and kick the door down, and that was like how we were like expressing character through puzzle design in these games.
Which is why this game is 2 hours long.
It's why it's a little shorter.
I don't have anything.
Interesting. We're not seeing the remastered gameplay option. Like,
I don't have anything. Closed.
so I have to hold down the left mouse button. Interesting. To pull up the menu. I was not expecting that. I thought it would have almost certainly been the right click.
Good thing Ripburger didn't touch my bike. Good thing for him.
So let's go back to the menu and change the settings on the remastered gameplay and go back and see if that fixes that.
I don't have anything.
Interesting. So, I don't know what remastered gameplay changes, but it certainly doesn't change that. So, it must be remastered controls that I want. And honestly, I kind of get that, and I kind of would prefer remastered controls, even if I am playing the classic version of the game. Let's try this.
I don't have anything.
No, that's not changing anything either. That is an odd choice. I'll leave everything off. But that is really, really odd. The right click always means this. Always means use whatever item you have in your inventory, which you'll barely use in this game. And if you want to bring up the options, you have to hold down the left button. Interesting. And at any point I could hit F1 and switch between the two. Just for a quick comparison, the remastered graphics do look better. I would say they look not as sharp. So my argument really is that I think the remaster had a bad art idea behind it. Instead of keeping the sharpness and just increasing the resolution, they added a smoothness and a watercolor style to it. Like these rocks, for instance, they look like the best kind of realistic rocks you could animate at the time. These rocks look like they're from a Looney Tunes game. And I don't think that that's a helpful element to this game. It's kind of a shame nothing ever...
That's where I came from. Nothing that way from me but a warrant.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that they didn't continue the series. There's been no talk ever from Double Fine to make a new Full Throttle game. Now if I hit A,
So here,
it's just going to be the same thing, but I can hit A again. So once you enter a scene, that's your only line of dialogue. Pretty typical.
I fixed your door. It was sticky.
Look, I don't want no trouble. Just leave me out of this mess.
And doesn't even prompt you to hit A until after that conversation.
And there's the bartender's name is Quahog. I don't know if that comes up ever in the game, but his name is always Quahog. Which is like from Moby Dick. It's how Queequeg misspells his own name when he signs into the log of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, whenever I do a search on it, I would always get Queequeg. I'm like, is that supposed to be? Because I remember you saying it was related to that. And then working with the animation team trying to do the high-res versions of all these characters, every time I got an email about it, it was spelled differently. Yeah. It's Quoog. It's Queeg.
So we already know what to do, so there's really no...
I've never liked nose rings.
Me neither, but someone dared me.
Might as well just do it. Nose ring, grab, Barton.
What might look better on your nose?
What?
The bar. Now don't mess around with me.
All right.
Now, nobody in their right mind would have a nose ring so huge that you could get two of your fingers into it and pull somebody downward. On top of that, if you did pull, it'd either fall out or rip out. It's not gonna immediately lead a person to the ground.
Oh, someone did say something about killing you and making it look like an accident.
They didn't do too good of a job there. But why ambush the Polecats? I'd better get moving.
Now, is this a different commentary?
And there's the bartender's name is Quahog. I don't know if that comes up.
Nope. It's just going to trigger the prompt every time you come out of a cutscene. Interesting. And it'll be the same response here.
So here,
every time you enter a place. Now, here's a thought. Like, I have keys, so now I can right click and bring up this. And then I can left click this and use this. It's not the greatest interface ever. And what they really missed was the opportunity for the tattoo to have an inventory pickup on the menu. So, like, you would think in a modern game, you would right click to get that tattoo, and there would be a button that says inventory, and then that would load into another thing.
Well, get used to it, bud.
So here's a question. Can you lose,
Road, we own it.
like,
I'm serious.
can you lose on this
Polecats.
one? Or is this a tutorial mission?
Pushing the Polecats? Oh, heavens. Whatever will we do?
That does it.
Come on, kitty. Let's get down.
So moving the mouse left and right, and I'm hitting A. I kind of want to see if he would knock me down. Ooh, you can lose. Interesting. Well, it just brings you back. And I've hit A, so there's no commentary supposed to be popping up here. And if there was supposed to be commentary in cutscenes like this, I don't know if I could bring them up hitting A, or if this is just going to be a scenario where... Alright. So I'd imagine the proper thing to do if that was to happen would be to try and reduce your speed as safely and quickly as possible.
I remember this scene was literally tossed together in about an hour. We need something in here after the wreck.
You mean lovingly crafted?
Lovingly, yes.
in an hour.
Sorry, is that what's supposed to be on the commentary about how much effort was put into these? A lot of it was we had such a tiny team, and we're going, the whole thing will be fully animated. It'll be crazy.
Watching this, I'm realizing, like, after Day of the Tentacle, where we had just 3 full-screen animations in the whole game, like, what did we sit down and say, like, hey, this next game is going to be crazy, and we're going to have all these full-screen animations the entire time?
Yeah, we said it was going to be a completely cinematic thing. Everything, there's going to be scenes.
Because I don't remember realizing what we were taking on in the beginning.
No, we had no
Which is
idea.
probably the special talent I have that lets me do these games, which is to not think about what this is going to
Because
entail.
we would basically plan out the scene, and about the only thing I remember doing to try to keep it reasonable was saying, if we edit enough, no one shot will have that much animation in it. You know, just as the animation's getting complicated, cut to another angle, you know. But still, the scene was going to last X amount of frames long. It's like somewhere in there you're going to have to animate something.
Yeah.
So we just did a lot of fast-cutting MTV-style stuff, and we kept saying, well, if you cut to a close-up of the face, you know, then not much is moving.
I mean, like, if you do a
Reaction
master
shots.
shot and you have a bunch of people doing stuff in it, that would take forever to animate. People picking up objects, putting them down, lip syncing. But if you cut to just someone's eyes moving slightly, it's more dramatic and it is less.
Yeah, so it was always like, you know, the guy that's swinging the wrench at the thing that's going to blow up, you'd get him to start to move, and then you'd show the reaction of the guy being surprised. And then you hear boom, and then you cut back in the little wisp of smoke.
Then it's Ben and Mo forever, I guess.
Now let's see if I can just skip all of this and say I better get going.
Better get going.
Let me know if you need any aspirin or anything.
So I'm gonna try to play the least amount possible.
Maureen got her name. Originally the story had 2 twins that were the twin daughters of Malcolm.
This is a different
Maureen and
commentary. I
2 girls
just
who
got
lived
from
with me
pressing
in
A.
college, and then we cut Tina. Sorry, Tina.
So
I don't have anything.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab this hose. I'm gonna grab the gas can. I'm going to intentionally not look at the mink farm.
Oh, good. You're not dead yet. I might still get a quote.
Let's see if I can hit A.
Chan does a lot of designs where you can see, like, the story of the town is that it's sunk. There's obviously a building that was here before and it just sunk, and they're just like, screw it, let's build another house on top of it. And they just build another one. Like a lot of he does a lot of double houses. There's some of that in Psychonauts, like roofs upon roofs.
Smart.
So I'm just gonna immediately try to move the story forward in a way of just like a lack of understanding. Like theoretically, I haven't even been told what I need to collect, and I'm collecting it.
And this is a pretty ambitious game. Like I feel like on every level we were just like
conversation. We got in way over.
Well, Well, I mean, I think we were thinking about things like, well, for me, I was thinking about Road Warrior and Yojimbo, because Road Warrior, just for I just love the way, it's just dramatic, gritty story being told, like an opera almost, and then Yojimbo is just the stoic hero. You know, you've seen Yojimbo with the Toshiro Mifune is like this really stoic main character who's not like a big tough guy who really shows off a lot, but he's really quiet until he goes and then he goes and kills 20 samurai, you know, just really quickly, and Ben was really inspired by him, and then I got the screenplay for the Road Warrior somewhere, and in the first shot of it, Mad Max, like, he gets to a fork in the road, he doesn't know where to drive to, and he pulls over and he finds a wreck of a car and he takes a bumper off of it and he throws it in the air, wherever the bumper lands he drives off that way, which is exactly how Yojimbo starts, with him doing it with a stick. And I was like, I knew it, this is all one big part of this generalized lone hero thing going on.
We were looking at Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name stuff too. Everybody squints like Clint.
Yeah, easier to animate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I suppose if you really wanted to watch coverage of this whole game based on just in the old graphics, I'm not really going to show that. Wow, and you can just kick the door in.
This is the first scene that you hear the Chitlins Whiskey Sir Kurt song.
That's my favorite song.
Increased chances, yeah. Almost the great John Spiegel of Chicago, friend of ours.
It creates a narrative problem in the game, though, which is that
post-apocalyptic.
We were always like, this is not a post-apocalyptic game. This is just an alternate reality, like an alternate world. Like, there's been no nuclear devastation. This is just a gritty, you know, highway-based part of the country, you know, and in the future. And but a lot of people thought it was like, because it is inspired by Road Warrior a lot in terms of its cinematics and the way it tells the story. But there's nothing post-apocalyptic about it. But that song is all about nuclear, like it's a post-apocalyptic song, and so it kind of feeds into that. So
it's good to create false rumors, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly.
So, interesting question now, I suppose, is how does one
open up?
Like, I already kicked the door down, so I gotta knock, then kick down.
Who's out there? Hey, I'm trying to do my art in here, buddy. I don't got time to waste on bums like you.
So, very easily, two of your first actions in this game could be kicking down the door.
Remember this was one of our big things, was changing the interface so we get a full screen game this time around, as opposed to Day of the Tentacle, where you had to look up and down. But in this game, we wanted there's a theory that like you should have the interface where people's eyeballs are, and their eyeballs on the cursor, so let's make the interface pop up on the cursor. And I remember that you hadn't seen that a lot. I think at the same time, you guys over at Lucas Learning were doing.
Oops. I'll go back and listen to that again.
How'd you get it?
Oh, it was just lying around.
A pair of forks, little gas, and we're set.
And see, we didn't even...
Chan does a lot of designs where you can see, like, the story of the town is that it's sunk.
Interesting, and we didn't even talk to this girl, so she didn't even drive off.
Build another one. Like a lot of he does a lot of double houses. There's some of that in Psychonauts, like roofs upon roofs.
Smart.
Psychonauts being a game that they're supposedly making a sequel to, although it seems like it's still in earlier development than it seemed like it should be. They're looking for like a production lead after announcing the game a year earlier. So I would probably guess it's in troubled development. Double Fine has had a lot of trouble. Double Fine, which is Tim Schafer and kind of nobody else. nobody else worth mentioning from LucasArts. It's had some problems releasing modern games and making them successful and sell. Now the audio, particularly the song, does not sound really any different than what the audio sounds like in the remastered version. Maybe my ears aren't hearing the difference, but it really sounds like it's just the same.
And I remember that you hadn't seen that a lot. I think at the same time, you guys over at Lucas Learning were doing. Remember the secret project, the secret library archive project. There was a. You guys were doing one where the interface popped up near the cursor.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that was cutting edge, you guys. Cutting edge cursors.
And so that was all that I missed, not even that much. So we've got some saves to write over, since this game gave us only 9 save files, which I don't know why a modern game is limiting you at all. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And I can just kind of overwrite anything. Let's see, March 14th at 11:50 was the day that I last played this game. And now it's March 22nd at 11 p.m. 26 according to the clock. So it really has been a week since I played the game. But also, I'm very much pointing out that there's, like, not too much to this game if you already know the solutions. Let's see, if I click this, that sounds lo-fi. If I click this, that sounds different. But in the game, it sounds like it's the high quality stuff still playing, which is odd because sound effects, music, and everything is on classic. Anyways, it's been 30 minutes. I seriously doubt, since we're basically just speedrunning this, that will take more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours at most. I doubt we'll even bother to play the mini game where we fight bikers that much. I just need to get to the point where I get the chain and then use the chain to get the speed boost, and then I'm done. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, give me something on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good